How you doing, guys?
Search for all the Easter eggs that we're going to have in tonight's show, by the way.
We're starting with the holy... I mean, it is a holy day. It's opening day of Major League Baseball.
That's right.
But is that what you mean by Good Thursday?
Yeah, it's a great Thursday.
Okay, Good Thursday.
Haley, how are things going over there in the hood? Haley's hood. Haley's comments. Well, you're going to talk about racing, auto racing later?
Yeah.
Hoods, cars.
History.
Oh,
History
gosh,
in
Tony.
the making.
We just started and you're...
I know. Oh, I'm off
stretching.
the rails already, just like last week. So, where are we going to start? The knighthood.
We're starting in the hood.
The knighthood? Are you going to start with the signs?
Kind of a big deal this week, right?
In the hood.
It's a little bit of a big deal.
Some big news?
The team down the street, the Vegas Golden Knights. So after clinching a playoff spot earlier this week.
Wait, can you just repeat that again?
After clinching a spot in the playoffs.
Wait,
come on.
so
we got to emphasize that a little
against the
bit.
Colorado
So they didn't
Avalanche.
Look at how he tried to gloss past it, like after clinching.
They didn't
the playoffs.
fold?
After
Just the next in the
Golden
progression of things that they're going to do.
The thieves from the Vegas Golden Knights social media team stole my Marcia So Madness.
They did, Tony.
Term.
We have your
know
back
it was
on
not
that.
Dan
They did.
Marazza. Dan's
Okay.
gone.
So somebody
whoever.
All right. So where
took
were
over
we?
for Dan.
Okay, let's go back here. So the Golden Knights last night, they fell to Arizona, the Coyotes, 3-2 at home.
He just has to
Right
go
to
in
the
the
loss.
negative. It's
Yeah,
like,
they clinched the playoff spot, but they lost to Arizona.
VGK ruined my night because there was a car chase in L.A., and they kept hitting the post. I thought the game was going to be over. It wasn't. 4 shots went off the post last night. Another slow start, guys.
Did you say a car chase in L.A.?
Yeah. Another slow start for the Vegas Golden Knights in the first period. And I think that Gerard Gallant is getting really concerned. He's getting concerned, right?
Well, he should. But again, I mean, you bring up the negative and the bad. I mean, I am a little concerned because this team still hasn't won the division, but they're coming off a high all season long, really. Exceeding expectations. They're coming off a high of a 100-point season. They're coming off a high of clinching a playoff berth. So they're a little slow to start. They play a 40-minute game instead of a 60-minute game. Now, we know that's a problem moving forward, but again, as we've done all year, we don't read too much into this at this point.
Which end of the desk are you talking about that doesn't read too much into Golden Knights things?
They're essentially, Tony. They're
essentially started 2 weeks ago.
They're
Guys.
essentially
It's
2
obviously
wins
a problem.
away from clinching the division.
Okay.
They're 2 wins away from
But
clinching the Pacific.
Okay,
and
to
they
win in the
have
playoffs,
San
you have to
Jose
play
at home.
consistently. You have to play 3 periods every night. You
Right.
can't start off slow.
Well, they know that. I mean, they know that.
Okay.
They know that.
Are they going to fix it?
You know what? We're gonna get to it in a minute. We're gonna start. We have a little video from Fleury first, but when we get to Nate Schmidt in a minute, he actually
Does he
speaks
give me a
to
shout
that.
out?
No, but he
Oh,
might
okay.
as well have because he kind of speaks to what you just talked about. But the Knights are happy. They feel like obviously they've accomplished something. We got in there in the locker room yesterday, talked to or the day before, talked to Fleury a little bit. Everybody was in the playoff mood, and Fleury kind of, being his jovial self, just talked about the atmosphere and then the hockey tradition of growing out a little playoff beer. Here's Marc-Andre Fleury.
How would you best describe the difference between playoff hockey and regular season hockey?
A little more fun, I think. Everything's more exciting. The intensity is there every night. Every little play matters. Every little place matters. And I think the atmosphere in the building is always. We're lucky here, right? It's always very loud, but wherever we're playing, it's really loud, and the atmosphere is always awesome.
Who do you expect to have the best playoff period on the team? I mean,
Beer?
Derek England's got a pretty good start.
Yeah, he did cheat a little bit there, but I think we'll be probably one front runner. I would say so. Yeah.
You're not going to go up, are you?
I think a little
one?
mustache, maybe a little something. Not much, I guess.
We're saying no beard for him. Maybe he'll get the mustache to come in. If you've ever seen Fleury up close, there's not a whole lot of facial hair going on there. He's still got the baby face going
I think
on.
he's got to go with the mustache because I could see how the beard with the mask and everything, it might chafe a little bit too much, but you just get it going up here and he's good.
Well, I don't think he really grows the beard anyways. And he said, England's cheating. He's already started his because England just.
They should all shave. They should have a ceremony and all shave the day before the playoffs together, and then go into the playoffs all growing at the same rate. Don't you think?
That's the thing, though.
They should make an event out of
grow
it
at the same rate. I mean, that's.
We could make.
There's some
we
guys
could
it's
we
not
could
gonna
make
happen.
Have the fans shave the players. right, and send some money to charity.
And
I think that would.
Hold on,
and then
Marketing
they could
guy.
auction off the
No, I
hair.
don't like that.
They're already
Doesn't like
auctioning off the jerseys on the last game.
Tony
Why
doesn't
not
like it.
Hold on. So
auction off the beards?
You're an NHL hockey player getting ready to go into the playoffs. You're going to let fans grab some razors
If it's
and
for
get
charity,
close to your face?
Sure. Well, I mean, you'd have to have the safety razor.
We'll have the right person do it,
Right,
but then
right.
they could man, they'd make
It's not
a
the
lot of money
barbershop
off of the
razor
beards,
where they
right?
just kind of go
No
Clint
straight
Malarchuk
edge?
on
No
somebody.
straight. Ooh,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Ooh. God.
So,
We
in
had a
any
really good story in
event,
the Players Tribune the other day, by the way.
in any event, so now
Oh, sorry, we're going to get serious about
we'll
hockey.
see the Vegas Golden Knights close things out at home. So Friday against St. Louis, Saturday against second place San Jose. And by the way, 13:47 left in the game in regulation. Sharks, Predators tied up at 3.
Oh, did
So
the
they
Sharks
could-
score?
Yeah, so they tied the game up at 3. So the Sharks and the Vegas Golden Knights each have 5 games left. They have a showdown game here on Saturday. It may or may not matter. So San Jose in action tonight against Nashville. And so that's a really now the division, see what I was talking about? Oh, they're up by 10, 12 points.
Okay,
oh, they're up
but
by
what
15,
did we say?
100 points.
What did we
I
say?
said it's coming down to the wire.
And what did we say?
I
We
said-
said they've built enough cushion that pending an epic collapse.
You said that.
Pending an epic collapse. Everybody on this panel said it except for you. Pending
Except
an
for
epic
me.
collapse, they had enough in the bank that they'll be able to hold on to the lead, even if the Sharks go on the run. The Sharks have gone on a run, and the Knights are still 5 points ahead with 5 games to go.
Well, we'll say this: the game against Arizona, I hope those 2 points don't come back to haunt them, because that was a big 2 points that
was a
they didn't
frustrating
get.
loss,
It was
right?
a very frustrating loss, because at the end of the first period, they were outshot. What was it, 17-5 in the first period alone, and then they come out and playing from behind. And I tell you, when this team takes care of the puck, they take care of business. But too many turnovers in their own zone. And I tell you that it's shoring these things up heading into the playoffs, because you see all the teams around them that are playing really, really well right now. I mean, in the Pacific, they were the only ones that people talked about. But now the Sharks are playing well. Now the Ducks are playing well. You've got even like St. Louis is playing really well and has something to play for coming in here. So, I mean, they are going to have to play 60 minutes in order to do this. So
Let's. What a great day the Dodgers lost. Thank you, Scott Winter.
Sorry.
And we'll get to
We're
that.
stealing your thunder, Haley. We have.
Should we? Let's go to Haley.
well,
real
Haley-
quick, 'cause we have
Haley-
a bunch of comments already.
Haley, can
So
you
let's
just
jump over to
repeat
Haley
that
before we
comment
get
again?
back to the
Because
Knights.
nobody heard that
The,
the first
most,
time
the
around.
most recent from the winter report said, "What a great day, Dodgers lost."
That's good.
how many games in a
Sorry,
row was
Matt.
that the Dodgers lost, dating back to last season?
Whoa, see,
Oh, two-game losing streak. Okay.
2.
Haley, anyone else checking in?
Yeah, actually, the hot topic right now is John's hat.
Okay. That is a nice hat.
Would you really call it a
yeah,
hot
go
topic?
through the comments and maybe I can explain
Yeah.
the hat.
Okay,
We all know what the
maybe,
hat
because the
is.
overall consensus is that it's a White Castle hat.
Fly the burgers.
Go get some
And a
sliders.
couple others.
Well, yeah, because John can't handle a real burger, so he has to have the little
You
tiny
get the
one.
little
I just
burgers.
think that John, in fairness,
Little John,
on the
Little
days
John.
that they lose, should wear an L on his hat.
Because there's not going to be that many losses this season, so it's not a big deal.
We're going to get you an L hat.
Explain.
If you do not know, fly the W. When the Cubs win, you put the W out. Simple as that. Long tradition.
Apparently, they're the only ones in the
greatest
world
stadium
that
in baseball.
a win is spelled with
White
W.
Castle. White
The
Castle's
greatest
the best.
stadium in baseball, Wrigley Field.
Who said that about White Castle?
I don't know about all that.
We got to
John.
send them a sports adrenaline
know.
shirt or
Redo
something.
the whole thing. The hotels open.
Who
have
else?
those?
Anyone else check in, Haley?
Yeah, it was either White Castle or Michael Wynn said maybe a Winnipeg Jets hat.
Oh, them
man.
Vikings right
Oh,
there.
you stepping out on your golden
Mike,
Knights?
man, don't make
And
us
then-
come up to Canada.
Larry Roeder said great comments, fun things, and he loves the W hat.
Thank you.
So you got one supporter.
Good man.
Yeah. Have you ever seen
Am I
a
saying anything
team
about my Padres
in the
shirt?
NHL hit the post as much as the Golden Knights? Seriously. I mean,
Oh,
they
sorry,
have
we'll
hit
get back to
no.
those.
They've
Yeah,
hit the
it's-
post more times.
Well, they
than
did
any
it so
team-
hard last night to set off the horn.
So the light and the horn. So they lit the lamp and the horn went off at the same time, and
Which,
everyone was
what,
like,
what
"Oh."
we thought was everybody. I was at the game last night. Matt was too. Hit the post. Play continued. The horn goes off. All the smoke flies, and we thought they tied it.
That was
3-3.
Neil, right? That was Neil.
Yeah, Neil hit the post and
Twice in the third period.
Yeah. I think
They
did they hit it 4 times?
times.
In the third period alone.
No, 2 and 2.
Oh,
Second
it's
and
just-
third period.
They were that close.
Yeah.
They were that close.
Oh no, this was something I mentioned.
Those are stats that I'm aware of.
Right. And Tony, they're not really factually based. That's why I was going to go ahead and.
That's why we use them.
except actually seeing the pucks go off the post. But beyond that, they're usually more opinions.
White Castle, man.
So going back to what we were saying off air, and I don't have the exact numbers, but right at the start of the season, you were always talking about how the Knights have been lucky, and they've been getting lucky, and the puck's not always going to go their way. There is a stat for that. I'm not into advanced analytics in the NHL, but I was saying how the number has come back down to earth. Really, the only number that's out of whack right now with this team is William Karlsson's shooting percentage, which is an obscenely high, like 23%, something like that. But other than that, the puck is not proverbially bouncing their way, at least according to the stats.
You don't think that Turk wearing the Zach Brown band shirt was absurd?
I heard he likes Storage Wars.
It's a good look, man.
I didn't know about that, but
that was good.
I know he's into Storage Wars based on some other story
So,
the other day.
I want to throw it to the Nate Schmidt interview real quick because he talked about playing a full 60 minutes and what it's like getting into the playoffs and everything that comes along with that and the expectations that this is a grind now and everybody's out trying to do the same thing. So here's defenseman Nate Schmidt.
Last year in Washington, obviously you guys expectations were Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, it was cup or nothing pretty much going into the season. You guys were expected to be one of the best. This year, a lot different feeling. Expansion team, guys getting to know each other, trying to figure out the locker room. At what point did that turn? At what point did you guys decide, you know what, we are a contender. Our goal is now playoffs and raise the cup?
I think what it really comes down to is I think that's bonding for the first month or two of the year, and more just obviously we're winning games, but off the ice as well. And not that I think every guy. I said this beginning of the year. Every guy kind of believed that they could take a next step, but each guy individually could believe that. But we didn't know as a team how it would work. And then you realized, a month or two this season, we could use our individual guys to help our team get better. And our guys really love playing with each other. And I love, that we have a great group in here, and that's what makes it that much more fun. And I think, a couple of months in the season is when we started to think, this isn't just a fluke anymore. We got to make sure we're not like a hot streak. It was just we're playing well and we're a good team.
Right now, when does the playoff beer? Tell me a little bit about that. The playoff beer tradition. When does it start? Do you start now growing it, or do you wait till?
I've done it multiple different ways. I don't grow a great beard. You're looking at the best part of my beard right now. I've gone the clean day before, but I also it would take me a month to get here. so I'm like Derek or some of these guys who can shave and have this at the end of the day. So I think I'm TBD on what's going to happen for me.
You guys have an X. What would the Y, I guess, or whatever the division? How big is that? Maybe just for stuff for home ice and for the organization being able to put a banner up in a first year.
Yeah, it would be pretty special. A lot of special notes on this year. A lot of cool things have happened with us over the course of the year. I think you don't start off with a checklist, right? But you see goals and you have a chance to attain goals and attain some things. And at this point, you're looking just to make sure we get healthy and play good hockey going in the end. And then however it really plays out, that's the way it's going to be. But that's kind of my mindset going in. Get healthy, play well, play the right way going into, play like we did in the third period for 60 minutes. And sometimes it's tough. It's tough at this time of year. Teams you're playing good teams. If you're going to go and think that you're going to play a team and that's in the playoffs and play like that in the third period, through a thing like that, that's not going to happen. You got to be able to weather the storm, but also know, bend, don't break, and make sure you don't get yourself in a position to think you're naive enough to think that you're going to be able to dominate a team in the playoffs, right? You got to be able to, or anyone at this time of year.
So they play each.
Schmitty, he's one of my favorite soundbite on the
great
team. Everybody's really good, and they give some great insight, but nice job.
No, he's a lot of fun to talk to. He gives you, we just saw it. He gives you great sound. He's willing to talk to you and give you the long answer and not be, the real short yes and no kind of answers. And there he said it. He goes, he said you can't expect to go out there and dominate a playoff team for 60 minutes. You have to weather the storm and do what you need to do to play your game to make sure that you come out on top. And that's essentially what's going to happen from this point forward. You have St. Louis coming up on Friday. If the playoffs started today, St. Louis would be round one for the Knights. You have the Sharks on Saturday fighting to get that Pacific Division Championship away from the Knights. And then you roll into 3 games that you really should win to give you some momentum heading into the playoffs where every single game is going to be tough.
One of the best jobs defensively I think I've seen all season was Colorado protecting its blue line when they played up there in Colorado and Denver last week. Do you think now that a lot of teams are going to replicate that defense?
Well, you saw that earlier in the season.
The Kings did it against the Golden Knights.
They did, and so did the Islanders earlier in the season. They kept everything between the blue lines, and it really Vegas struggled with it.
They've
completely.
been struggling.
I was actually surprised more teams didn't do that. So the question is, what style play is Vegas going to play? Are they going to play their own game, or are they going to adjust to the team they're playing, which they've done quite a bit this year? Mm-hmm. So you want them to play what they're good at, because when they play that way, and you got to also understand that they're missing a few pieces still. That Riley Smith injury was
Perron
significant.
And Smith both out last night, and Perron and just a maintenance day. They said, that's what they're saying. But you know how that goes. But this could be the beginning of a cycle of resting guys. I mean, they still do have a cushion. They have time to clinch this division, whether it's this weekend or the 3 games in Canada next week. They still have time to clinch the division. So if you can start to rotate guys in and out of that lineup and give them a couple of extra days heading into the playoffs, why not?
I was surprised we didn't see Subban last night.
I'm surprised every day that we don't see Subban.
With the way that Subban played in San Jose last week, even though it was a loss, he had 42 saves in the game. He played brilliantly. Mm-hmm. And then last night, especially against a team like Arizona, I thought they would rest Fleury and put Subban in there to get him fresh for the postseason as well, because you're going to need him being sharp and fresh and ready for the second tier.
Well, maybe for this back-to-back, you start with Subban and give Fleury an extra day.
Let him get in against the Sharks.
Have him play the second game. Haley, we're lighting up with a Nashville lead right now in an important game. 4-3.
Yeah, Michael Wynn just let us know. 4-3 Nashville. Before that, David Blackman said last night's loss was sad, but a learning experience, I hope, for
You made it sound really sad, Haley.
Me? Working on my acting over here.
Good job.
Also, Chris Williams said VGK needs to take the very Vegas attitude of we are playing with house money. They are already going down as the best expansion team ever. And my online best friend Glenn Siegel said they need Smith back. It's evidence that he is a steadying influence in all situations they've been missing out for a bit.
Smith might be the best player on the ice most
all
nights.
Around. You've heard that said, even on air, that they look at Riley Smith as possibly the best all-around player on that team. And then you got somebody like Haula, who has how many goals now?
29.
29 goals, and I'd almost say quietly has 29 goals. I mean, he's been very, very good for them as well.
I've been watching some of the out-of-town broadcasts of the games, and I'm just amazed at the number of the number of broadcasters that are really like they're taken aback on the skills of Marchessault. They really like Marchessault.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've heard a number of them highlight him and his impact on the team, and they really didn't think that he had that kind of skill.
That was the great first signing, fantastic first signing by George McPhee, and obviously he's proving his worth. You know, it happens.
It is Marchessault madness.
A guy signs that big deal and then regresses immediately.
I started in February.
They jacked you, man. Oh, I know. No,
I told you they keep stealing my stuff on
they
social media.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, announced this week NBC Sports will be looking at the special inaugural season.
Just NBC Sports?
Well, the inaugural season of the Golden Knights. Special broadcast on April the 3rd. That's next Wednesday, following the Lightning Bruins game. So it's a very special.
And you're going to watch it.
Yeah. Face-off time will be 4:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Well, they have clips from Sports Adrenaline where Tony was saying this team's going to
We'll explore how VGK constructed
we didn't get a call.
Team.
They were asking us to send them
for archive video.
How VGK, how they constructed the team with what should have been the 8th best player, truly, right, on every roster.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the story.
Hey, a bunch of second-line guys can make a pretty good hockey team, apparently.
Well, I mean, and we discussed this a couple months ago that
it's the side hustle.
It's as if we are living through an ESPN 30 for 30 right now. And, I mean, it will be one someday. But I think we've gotten to the point where, I mean, the whole idea that the novelty of the team and that they're doing all these things as an expansion team, that's great, and it's been fun with that. But we want to make a run in the playoffs now. I mean, it's beyond just the
the expansion part is over. Now it's playoff time. Get out there and win a cup.
Oh, do we want to? Were you going to talk about tickets at some point and the way the ticket deal has gone down? Quick recap.
Okay, let's move on.
Is it the Golden Vow or the Knight's
the,
Vow?
The Knight's Vow, right? So if you have season tickets and you take the vow, you'll get a discount on the playoff tickets.
Okay.
For me, I do have season tickets, so the playoff tickets are $30 more. No, excuse me, only $20 more face value a piece for the playoffs. I'm in the upper deck. If you don't take the vow, then you pay about double face value. So it's still a pretty good
have
value.
already taken the vow.
Either way,
I've not taken the vow
yet.
Well, and the first round,
the vow is not the same as fanboys.
No, the vows.
Oh, that vow.
Yeah.
Well, individual tickets go on sale Monday, right?
Right. So Monday
they go on sale Monday,
and
the idea is that they want to be able to sell out the individual tickets before we find out who the opponent is. So as we've seen all
right
season,
now it's
how the opponents come in waves.
St. Louis.
As of right now, it's St. Louis.
Yeah.
If
So
St.
much
Louis
can
loses
change
to
in
the
these
Knights
last 5
tomorrow,
games.
then that changes because you still have Anaheim right there and you have Colorado right there.
Colorado's outside looking in right now.
And they're both right there with L.A., who's in that third spot in the Pacific Division right now. I mean, that in the last week, those 3-4 teams can jump all over the place.
It's going to be pandemonium here in the city once the playoffs kick off.
Where are you going to go for games, even if you're not in the arena? Is there going to be a better place to be than Toshiba Plaza in the park?
Right. It's going to be fun.
I mean, if I'm not in the arena, I'm going to be out there just to take it all in.
You've been there. You've been out there for games before.
And if you will, Maddie scalping tickets.
When he couldn't find scalp tickets.
So
Maddie, you in the building yet?
They have a big.
It was the third period, Maddie. I'm still waiting.
Still waiting.
I'm holding out
Outside.
hope. Holding out hope.
There's
Sorry,
a
John,
big
go ahead.
there's a big TV out there in the plaza. So if you want to go down there and just watch the game, you can do that. So I'd love to see 5,000-6,000 people out there in the plaza.
5,000-6,000.
John calls it
I
a big
bet you it's more than
TV.
that.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other note. Golden Knights defenseman Brad Hunt, the Vegas Golden Knights 2018 Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy nominee. So as selected by the Las Vegas chapter of the Professional Hockey Writers Association.
Okay.
Who's in that chapter? You guys, you cover the team. Who's?
Yeah, you know what? I have no idea.
I was just saying, like, is
But,
there one writer?
Hey, well deserved. Yeah, I have no idea. It's Steve Carp. Hey.
Okay. It is Stevie Carp.
Hey, quick shout out to Betty Marquez.
Hey,
who's
Betty.
On the Vegas Knights Nation on Facebook.
Hey.
11,000 members. We should probably cater to those people. And we
Yeah.
do this. We do Knights Talk every week, clearly. So, Benny, give us a share on there. We'd love to broaden our audience.
And thanks for
hopefully
watching.
you enjoyed the talk here. And he's a Cubs fan, so that's just
All right, never mind. Forget what I said.
Right, there it is.
Haley, would you like to repeat that or something? Is anything going on? We've got a lot of comments tonight.
Yeah, we're chatting.
You chatting back with people?
A little bit. Everyone's kind of talking. We have this cool thing going on where everyone's talking to each other.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
It's like, it's
Yeah,
like,
don't
So
mind
they're not
us.
paying attention to me?
Talk amongst yourselves.
you're just like the chat room for them.
All right.
To
We're background
conversate.
noise. That's
AOL,
great.
it's like an AOL chat.
It's the AOL chat room. Exactly.
Yeah, bring it back. You guys are talking about where else to watch the game. Chris William Wynn said he'll be at the Long Bar at the D. So if you guys
Yeah,
want
of course,
to join him,
little sponsor
Sharing
mention.
with
Little sponsor
it
mention.
could be free drinks with what's his face is winning on Michigan, Derek Stevens.
Derek Stevens.
If Michigan wins it all, it'll
$1 million.
cash out $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million worth of
free
booze.
drinks. And
Nice.
you guys have a hater.
Just one?
Randy, one that I know of. Randy Ayotte.
Okay.
Friend of anybody?
Oh, we see the comment. He's
First-
talking about
first
the New
time
York
talking
Jets.
New York
Hockey
Jets.
boys?
The New York Jets. Thank you. The New York Jets. Is that what you
Tony
said?
appreciates that.
Don't get me started. We move up to number 3, and we still don't know who the heck we're going to draft. Like, you moved up for what reason? Oh, sorry, Haley.
You have that
Back
many
to-
holes on your team.
No, you're
I mean,
fine. That's
Don't let me interfere.
what we got going on over here.
All right.
Oh, and an update for you. UNLV fell down 4-0 up in Reno and just scored 2 in the top of the fifth, so they're down 4-2. 20, depending what poll you look at, 24th ranked UNLV.
24.
I
up
think
there.
that's coming up later under
It is.
UNLV.
Oh, we have it on the
there.
rundown.
Yeah.
And
That's
we'll
okay.
update it.
We'll give another
We'll
update.
update it again.
Okay.
Then, Tony, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good. So let's move along to the Raider Nation.
Don't derail Tony's rundown.
So,
right?
well, last
Is
week
the
there were
pillow
more
fight on there?
topics than I even knew we needed to discuss.
Hey, we're moving on to Raiders.
Raider Nation?
Everybody keep watching.
Okay.
Our Knights fans.
So the
You
Raiders
do know this.
finalized, and we'll give scoring updates on the hockey game. How's that?
Okay.
And the baseball game.
So the Raiders finalized the $1.8 billion stadium deal yesterday. Steve Hill ended the Stadium Authority meeting by saying, let's build a stadium. Boy, they should really be commended on the job that they did on that authority. So Senate Bill number 1 is signed, and it was signed after the NFL approved it. And Matt, who's with us on the set, Matt,
hi Matt,
this Matt, along with Scott Winter of the LV Raiders Report. That's why he's tuning in tonight, likes TV time. So anyway, they have a recap of the Stadium Authority meeting, and also they touched on the NFL owners meetings from earlier this week. Let's take a look.
We're going to go ahead and bring in Scott Winter here from Las Vegas Raiders Report. Scott's been on it since day one. Scott has been all over it. He's on a first-name basis with everybody. He even takes a few insults from some of the top guys that we found out today, just for fun. But Scott, go over a couple of the, a little bit of the more technical issues that were ironed out today. Well, not even ironed out, just kind of signed off, because the meeting went a lot quicker than any of us expected, even though Chairman Hill came in at the beginning and said we're going to fly through these 35 items. Go over some of the more technical things that were discussed.
Well, they changed to the Raiders Holding Company. That was a last-minute addition. Another thing was the land transfer. There's a little bit up there. They've got 10 days. That's in the documents. Another thing would be the funding. They're getting the pay-go started, and then moving it towards the bond. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot that they had to do, but those are things that stuck out in my mind that they had to amend today.
Now, everything's signed, right?
Yep.
It's official. We're moving forward with this. What are you most excited about in the next, obviously getting done and opening day and the stadium, but in the next few months here, the next few phases and the next steps in the process, what are you most excited about?
Oh, man. Okay, so I just got back from the NFL owners meeting. They had a presentation, a video board of their presentation we're going to try to get a hold of. And it showed, the timeline, and then they went into virtual reality to show how it's being built and when things. That's going to be exciting. When you start seeing steel go up and you're driving by on the 15, that's going to make it real for the residents. They're going to say, "Whoa, it's not just dirt being pushed around and dug up and stuff like that. Steel's going up." And actually, the stadium is going to look complete by about October, November of 2019, because all of the facades, roof will be on. They'll still be doing work in there. I'm telling you though, they're going to be. I'm excited to see, that. It's going to go along with, like, when you see the Ferris wheel, or you see the Stratosphere, or the Pyramid. It's going to be another iconic building in Las Vegas. That excites me.
When I was a kid, I did construction work out here. Just a laborer going out, carrying pipe up steps, building the new Caesars Tower, worked on Mandalay Bay. And one of the fun things that you always saw out there was, you got your hard hat and you put your name on it, or your nickname, because everybody seems to have a nickname in construction. I always drew a Raider logo on my hard hat because obviously lifelong Raider fan. When are we going to put on hard hats and get out there and get to tour the stadium a little bit and just get the inner workings before anybody else gets to see it?
I think we're going to get a lot of that going through it. I know a guy. I think Scott knows a guy. I think you know a guy.
I think I know him too.
Yeah. I think we'll see about getting that done. I believe that. We're going to be able to provide, other than, now granted, the Raiders got us beat. They got the time-lapse camera on top of the Delano, but we're going to be able to go out there ground zero and cover that as it's being built. It's going to be great.
We want to see the guts, right?
Oh,
we
yes.
want to see the guts of this project. So, exciting day, guys. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is what this committee has been building towards for the last 2 years. Chairman Hill couldn't express enough his gratitude to everybody, to all the man hours that have been put into this project. Jeremy Aguero especially. He worked his tail off to get this done. And I just found out today he's a 4th-generation native. I'm 3rd-generation native. My kids are 4th-generation native. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears are put into this thing by people who are entrenched in this city, in this community. And just a big day. We're excited. We'll get into it a lot more tomorrow night on Sports Adrenaline Las Vegas. We'll be coming to you live at 7 o'clock. Tony will be there. Rick will be there. John will be there. And we'll really get into the meat of this thing. But big day, March 28th, 2018. It's official, guys. The Raiders are coming to Las Vegas. Talk to you soon.
We're all here.
Yeah.
I said coming up. Good preview. Good promo. But we're here.
Quick, travel through time, and here we are.
I got you.
There we go.
I like the Beat LA hats that I saw yesterday.
Yeah, so Tommy White's wearing, one side of his shirt had the stadium, like a nice little silhouette of the stadium. The other side, Raider Shield, Beat LA.
Beat LA. Yeah,
gotta love
because
it.
Local 872 wants
Most
to
of the time
beat
it is, yeah.
the LA stadium construction. That construction's more than doubled. The the cost has more than doubled.
Isn't that insane?
That's absolutely insane. Yes.
So it's up to like $3.5 billion. I mean, what's the number on it? If it doubled,
nobody
right?
does it like
It
Vegas.
was
Nobody does
2.2,
construction
now it's over
like
$4
Vegas.
billion? That's insane.
And now
We
these
know
guys
how
are
quick they're gonna
motivated.
bang this thing out.
Hey, great news though! 24,000 plus jobs are being created through the stadium.
They've already spent $100 million so far. Correct.
Over $100 million now. They talked about it in the meeting. I think they were up to a little over $11 million beyond the original $100 million.
Look what $100 million gets you: a few explosions and some cranes.
Yeah, you dig a little.
So we're well on our way.
Well, we saw this week also that a lot more has come out about some of the aesthetics of the stadium and what it's going to look like and what it's going to be like. I mean, I found it very interesting that they said that when you go in, it's going to be they're digging so far down.
Yeah.
Some will go down, some will go up because some of
think that's
the
great.
field itself is going to be underground.
That's great.
And so for congestion wise coming out, and they talked a lot about the aesthetics of the black look on it from the outside, but yet from the
And how it
inside
keeps
looking
it
out,
cooler.
it's going to stay
It'll
clear.
keep it cooler on the inside.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Forget LA.
UNLV's field is going to be 4 feet lower
right.
than where the Raiders' natural grass
They're
tray
gonna
will
be
slide in.
sunk
Yeah.
in. I wonder what they do to kind of change
Seating,
the look with the
view.
seating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe eliminate the first. No, I guess you wouldn't eliminate rows on the bottom. Well, they can figure that.
Yeah. So the NFL owners meeting was this week. The meetings, and John Gruden met with the media. Real interesting. I watched the interview, and what came out of that, as far as I'm concerned, he said he doesn't like instant replay, which was kind of funny. Old school. He
At
likes
all?
the tight end. We already know that he likes the fullback. He's going to just try to create a bruising, attacking style offense. I mean, that's what he's going to do to
Yeah, he
open
wants
up
to
the
beat
passing
you up.
lanes.
He wants to beat you up.
He's going to beat you up.
And
That's
nobody,
exactly
I mean, nobody's really has that style anymore. I think teams are now going to have to do a lot more work to adapt to whatever this is. If it's successful, it could be a huge hit. If it's not, people are already going to start. I mean, they're going to complain and say he's too old school, and all the criticisms when he was hired will resurface again. But again, too early to.
I think he's a sandbagger. I think he's sandbagging. I think he's going to. I think he's light years ahead of everyone else in the league.
We know he is. You mentioned a minute ago the hard work that went into with the authority board and how much they did. And Chairman Hill actually got a little choked up when he was thanking everybody when they were getting ready to sign the papers, especially Jeremy Aguayo talking about the work that he's done. And you could see he's visibly getting choked up, but Mark Bedane talked about that after the meeting. Everybody kind of gathered around him. He did a little quick presser, but he talked about the work that everybody in this community's done.
About what a remarkable accomplishment this is, given how long other communities have taken to do this. Tell me more about that, and just what we accomplished here today.
Well, I think you could look around not just our sport, but other sports, and communities that have an affinity for their team and what it takes to put a stadium project together, the coordination of the municipal agencies, funding source, land acquisition, just the leadership and the vision that it takes to put a deal like this together can take decades in some cases. And just look at the project in Los Angeles, the Chargers were working on a stadium project for 15 years. We were trying in our market for almost 10. So it's very, very challenging to do these deals. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of vision. It takes a lot of effort. And it takes the right leadership. And when we started this process a little over 2 years ago, we didn't know that much about it. We learned very quickly, and we were affiliated with the right people here in the Adelson family, and then all the introductions they made, and Governor Sandoval and Commissioner Sisolak, and you see the result. And you guys live here, and you cover what goes on in this community, and you've seen good and bad here, and you've seen what they've been able to accomplish. And I just don't think there's a community in the country or in the world that pulls off what this community does on a regular basis. And so it's something we're proud to be a part of. It's something that we're proud to associate our franchise with, and our history, and our players and coaches and fans. And what you heard the fan who spoke, there's fans all over the world that are Raider fans, and they're thrilled about this. They're thrilled that they get to come to a stadium. They go to stadiums around the league, and they want that environment, and they want that experience on game day, and this is going to provide it. So it's just something as a community that I hope nobody here loses sight of it. I hope you guys, and we'll continue to champion that, but you should be really, really proud as a community, and you should be really, really proud of your leaders and you should be really, really proud of everybody that's been involved in this project from about 2 years ago. It's just, it's really remarkable.
Money does it like Las Vegas.
If you're a local here or a native of this city, man, that's got to give you chills because you realize just the incredible job and the speed that they got this done in to put this project together and already have shovels in the ground out there. It's amazing.
I can tell you, I was at that very first meeting 2 years ago. I think it was May of 2015, and pretty much all of those early meetings. I missed the last couple, but point being is that
3 years.
There was it 3 years?
This is 18. That was 15.
No,
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah, okay.
16.
Yeah, I'm all
It was
over the
16.
place. So it would have been
16,
16.
yeah,
Sorry.
16.
Math off. Still
About
2
2
years
years, about 2
nonetheless.
years,
So 2016.
Just keep you accurate, Johnny.
What was my point now? There's, and we've talked about it numerous times, no huge stumbling blocks, and the things that people were fighting over were things that you needed to fight over. Would there be local contractors on the job? What percentage of locals would be hired? Making sure that you hire, minorities
minority hiring.
and the LGBTQ community. So the arguments that they've had completely valid. Outside of that, you're going to have a little give and take on the lease agreement with UNLV. So with all that said, there's nothing that really went wrong in this entire negotiation. And even with the parking, again, it was a hot button issue, but an issue that needs to be talked about. The transportation, all these things came up, and they've been, for the most part, put to bed. But nobody could have done it better.
And I think that's the one thing. Not one thing remaining, but that is still remaining is the parking. That's something that's yet to going to be finalized.
It's
done. You think it's done?
Yeah.
All taken care of?
It's done.
So what's the furthest we're going to have to walk to get to the stadium?
It's just
Mile and a
Depends
half.
on where you park.
You'll be on the
You wanna
east
park
side
at
of
SLS or something,
you'll be on
it's
the
gonna
east
be a
side of the
little
strip,
longer, but-
right?
Yeah,
It looks like that.
Yeah, east side of the strip.
All of their
probably is gonna be-
stadium parking is going to be within a mile and a half?
Yes.
easily. I'd say
Easily.
And again, it's not like everybody's going to park in those spots anyways, because you're going to have people coming from the other end of the strip, or as far as
And the
wing
monorail.
and Encore and whatnot. Yeah, they're going to jump
gonna
on the
extend it.
monorail.
They're gonna
and all
extend
that.
the monorail.
Exactly.
Well, on a much larger scale, you hope the Raiders for home games do what the Knights do for every home game with their shuttles that they do. Have you seen how they shuttle people in from like Eastern and Pebble? It's a $2 bus ride, and it takes you directly. I think it takes you across the street at that parking garage by the Excalibur, and lets you off there, and then afterwards it's $1 to get back. So $3 to not have to worry about traffic or parking or anything like
They
that.
should have those bicycles like they have downtown too, where you could just put in some money.
I thought you were talking about
What are they
the
called?
guys on the pedals.
City bikes
Downtown.
Yeah.
So Haley, you've used
What
those?
about the beer one? The one that has the beer, the bar, that you pedal that one.
That's
Yeah.
totally different.
No,
That is genius.
I think we should reserve that for the first game in 2020.
It's like a
for the
moving
crew.
bar.
That
They
would
should
be
have
awesome.
those.
Go down the whole
I'll be the
strip all the way
DD.
to the stadium.
Why don't I have a shot glass here? It's still from the nightclub in Bar.
On top of the speed that they got this thing done in, you have to commend the Raiders for being able to kind of toe that line, because it's been there's a lot of tension in Oakland because the fans understand that they're losing their team, right? I mean, the Raiders have been
They
really
picked their
good.
team with that attendance. What was that attendance at the A's game today?
It was like 23,000,
Opening
right
day,
around there.
23,000.
Nice.
Lowest
Good
since
decision,
1980.
Las Vegas Athletics.
I mean, yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Las Vegas A's
Sorry,
coming.
I do
No,
forget.
but that's what I'm saying is they've done a good job of both getting into the Las Vegas community as well as still endearing to their fans. And I actually asked Mark Bedane about that. I said, what do you say to the Raider Nation? And here's what Bedane had to say about the fans out there that are both happy and upset.
Kind of community that we are, Mark, at the destination we are. Do you think that you could potentially be sitting on one of the iconic stadiums?
I think we are. I think we will. Absolutely. Just the look and feel, the location, that northern view where the doors open up, and you have. It's pretty special when you see the renderings. It's amazing, and then when you go out on the site for the caliche explosions or for the groundbreaking. I still am amazed that piece of land was available, and just the timing and sequencing of everything that we were able to secure it, and that's where the building's going to be. It's going to be a great addition to the skyline.
Mark, can you address the Raider Nation? Because you have a faction that's super excited, and then you have a faction that's still a little bit disappointed. What do you have to say to those fans, just to let them know how great an opportunity this is for the Raiders?
I think that's a fair way of saying it. There are some people that are upset and will remain upset, and we can't begrudge them that. I understand it. We tried as hard as we could to get a deal done in our market, and we were unsuccessful. For the most part, the fans that you talk to are just excited that we'll have a home and that we'll have something that's worthy of the fan base's devotion and the fan base's passion. And what better city and community for them to all be able to come to? We have a fan base that's all over the world, and they travel everywhere we go. Those of you that have been on a road trip with us or been to a road game, we have 10, 15, 20,000 people in the stands at pretty much every game. And this stadium and this market will give them an opportunity to come here. And we're already hearing from them. They're already lining up to buy tickets. They're already members of the deposit list. So I think overall, while I respect and understand those that are upset with the decision, the majority are very excited about the opportunity ahead of us and what it means for the franchise.
There you go. Bedane trying to make everybody happy on both sides, really. So they're going to do their best to keep this thing even keel until they get to Vegas. Speaking of even keel, we're getting a little agitation on the comments line. Is that what's going on, Haley?
And it's not coming from me.
What's going on?
Before I get there, David Blackman has a valid suggestion for parking. He said, buy out, I think this might be an auto correct. He
Come
said,
on.
buy out Ballyhare Golf Course.
Ballyhare.
That's really what
Bally High.
Okay.
O'Hare.
It says
Bally
hair.
O'Hare.
So.
Maybe he's going back to our discussion about the beard shaving.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
He said, create a mixed-use sports center with a sports museum and shops and build a pedestrian crossway over the 15.
Wow.
So valid.
Okay.
Done and done.
Valid point.
Yeah.
However,
On its way.
okay.
On its way.
We'll raise some money with
Randy,
taxes.
I don't know
Randy.
if you're still watching. Randy Ayotte, whoever you are. I can't tell if you're a troll or trying to be funny. I can't tell. I usually have a really good sense for these things. But he said all four of you guys should walk to the game and that you're athletes.
From where?
Well, he knows.
Where are we parking? Hold on. Where are we parking?
Which one of us
problem
is he
walking.
calling athletes?
Oh, also, he asked
Thank you.
if you guys had been on a hockey rink before.
I have.
Been on a hockey rink before skating, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
my
eh?
son skate.
He went to Legoland.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is it.
You're digressing. Tony.
Let's digress. Okay, I just have to take a little bit of a serious turn here for a moment, guys. And we have a real heavy heart here, as most of you in the community do, with the loss of David Hum. Hum. He passed this week at age 65. So, yeah, there's an autographed Raiders helmet. That's cool. So Hum was a Las Vegas guy, unbelievable member of our community, first member of the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. He
Maybe
played
the best
football.
prep quarterback ever.
Played football
Yeah.
at Bishop Gorman back in the day, before Gorman was really a powerhouse team. And he was recruited by all the heavyweights. I mean, I was just reading a story by Jim Fossum on the LV Raiders report that Fossum was there back when Bear Bryant showed up at Gorman High School with Joe Namath to try to get Hum to go to the University of Alabama.
Wow.
I mean, crazy. And recruited, played under the great Tom Osborne, simply the best athlete, I think, to ever come out of Southern Nevada. And then he had a chance to play like a lot of players aspire to, but don't quite get there. Plays in the NFL. He starts off with the Raiders, backing up the likes of Kenny Stabler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jim Plunkett. You can count the number of starts with Oakland on just one finger. In fact, Hummer had more Super Bowl rings, 2, than he had starts at 1.
Hey, I'd take that trade off.
That's a career.
Yeah, so Hum had
A
the
10-year
2 rings.
career in the NFL, though. That's
Played for the Bills, the old Baltimore Colts, and then back to the Los Angeles Raiders. And the Raiders were his family. And I've read so many tributes over the last couple of days. This one really hit home because I had a chance to work with him some on radio a while ago and got a chance to know him, a lot better. And the last time that we saw him, he was at the groundbreaking for the new Raiders Stadium. I saw him at Rich Abajian's funeral a couple of years ago, where I really had a chance to kind of catch up with him. I hadn't, seen him in a while. But he suffered from multiple sclerosis. And trust me, he never, ever, ever complained about having a disease. He was confined to a wheelchair for a while, and the Raiders accommodated him. When he got sick, Al Davis said, there's no way we're going to do these broadcasts without you for the pregame shows. So they built him a miniature studio in his house. And so he broadcast, they had a ISDN line in there so he can broadcast there. So his disease really didn't take away from his passion, his love for football, for Las Vegas, or for our community. Guys?
He'll be missed.
Yeah.
He'll be missed.
I don't know what else to say.
Great
I'm just
prep,
really,
great
really
collegiate,
upset yesterday.
All-American in '74. I mean, just a great Las Vegan, that we lost, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to his family and all of his friends, and that it's a big loss for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully at the new stadium, they have something, a plaque or something dedicated, and the way the Raiders are first class.
Yeah.
They will. They'll do something special.
The Raider family.
I think
first.
Once a Raider, always a Raider.
Yeah, for David Hum. So it's cool. He gave his brother Tom, who's a local radio guy, one of his 2 rings, and he wore it he still wears it to this day, every single day.
It's awesome.
So
yeah, I met him. Never really got to know him. He was a little bit before my time, I guess you could say. But I know when I would see him at events, he was always surrounded with people. Like I'd want to maybe chat him up a little bit, but you couldn't because somebody else was talking with him. So just based on that, knowing, you know how much he meant to this community and really how everybody knew him. So it really is a big loss.
Yeah, made everyone feel special.
Hummer may be the reason that I am a Raiders fan today. My dad grew up with David Hum and his brother Tom. They went to elementary school together, and then they went to separate high schools, but always grew up in the same neighborhood, were friends until, the very end. And Hum being drafted by a team that my dad had already started to follow, my grandfather started to follow a little bit in the Raiders, that just made it even more so of his team, the love and the passion he had for that team. And it was because Hum was there, as a quarterback for the Oakland and then Los Angeles Raiders. And I was born 3 years after Hum was drafted by the Raiders, so my dad's already entrenched in this thing, and then here I come, and it's been with me ever since. So Hum's he was part of the family.
Well, it's beautiful how you can see life come full circle sometimes, and you see it a lot sometimes in the sports world. How he was so good here in Las Vegas even before high school athletics in Las Vegas were really anything, and then to come full circle and for him to be able to see that the Raiders were coming and be at the groundbreaking, that's very special, considering what he was suffering with. But the fact that he was able to be here and see that his team was coming to his town, that's a special thing. But he's going to be missed for sure.
No doubt. Let's talk about some other sports activities, things that are going on. Well, UNLV basketball. So Rick and I passed each other on the campus the other day. I was chasing Brandon McCoy to try to get the story.
You weren't keeping up.
And the next day, he declares that he's going to make himself eligible for the NBA draft. I was not keeping up. He's got the long strides. He does. But he was driving this little box car. I don't know what that was all about, but that's going to get better.
Whatever that bonus check
the running,
is it?
Is it?
How big will the bonus be?
What does the G League pay?
So the running Rebels leading scorer last season, 17 points, leading rebounder, 10 boards a game, 18 double-doubles. Projected now to be, and a lot of people in the know believe that, and scouts and people we talked to during the course of the season thought that there was some slippage in his game because he wasn't playing very well defensively. Just a fact, right? And so
really, was he not playing well defensively?
Did he play defense?
So he's a late
you have
first
to play
rounder,
defense in order to play,
possibly into the second round. There's some big guys out there, some big players.
No. We interrupted Tony. Sorry, continue.
No, that's it. I just said I don't know who's going to replace him though. What does UNLV do in the middle?
Well, what does it matter? They finished near the bottom of a bad conference. So who cares if you replace them? They need to replace the whole team. They need to replace everything going on within that structure right now because they can't win. They can't be above 500 right now in a very bad Mountain West Conference. Brandon McCoy is not going to make a difference. Another Brandon McCoy is not going to make a difference. This is a bad basketball team and a bad program right now that can't even finish above 500.
20 wins last season, Matty. 20
irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant.
You know that's all they're going to talk about,
20 wins has become
that's
such an
all they're
arbitrary
gonna talk
number,
about.
it doesn't even matter anymore.
Sorry, it was a huge...
What does that get you?
According to the
What does that
program,
get
it was
you?
a huge success, and they got 20 wins, and
What does
we
that get
shouldn't be
you?
worried about anything.
What 20 wins got them was no invitation to the NCAA, no invitation to the NIT, and a chip on their shoulder that told them they were too good to go to the CBI.
But 20 wins.
That's
all you're going to hear about this season for
Yeah.
years to come.
Tell me about one win in an NCAA tournament, and I'll be excited.
All right, so he came out too early. I think we can all maybe agree with that.
I
right?
agree.
But I mean, there was no question that he was going to come out.
It's the unfortunate culture of college basketball right now that he almost had to come out because everybody expected him to come out. And if he doesn't come out, he's somehow looked at as a failure. And that's the landscape of college basketball right now. And from my perspective, it's unfortunate because these kids need a couple years of development before they're ready to go to the NBA. I know there are some special talents out there who make that leap, but the vast majority of these guys, they need more time. The development that happens between the freshman year and the sophomore year in college is noticeable. Do you remember Lou Amundsen?
Yeah.
Do you remember the development that happened with him when he was a freshman?
He was terrible as a freshman.
He was a skinny, clumsy kid out there, but the development that he went through, and granted, he stayed 4 years, but that time between freshman and sophomore year was monumental for him. And I think it's unfortunate that I think McCoy felt like he had to go because he could have used another year of college. But, you know, I mean, who are we to sit here at a desk, you know, on the internet and question going and making a paycheck? But I just think it's a bad place that college basketball is in right now.
I don't question his decision at all. We'd probably all do the same thing. But I can sit here and give my opinion on the decision, and I don't think he's ready, just like the rest of us don't think he's ready. That's irrelevant. You have to make your own decision as an adult, and that's what he's done.
Do we have an update on the hockey score?
Yeah, 5-3 final.
Final. So the Predators
Go,
won.
Preds, go.
So magic number.
That's the last time I'm rooting for the Predators all season, but it was a good win. It was a very good win.
The Knights' magic number is now 3. So if they get at least 1 point tomorrow night against the Blues, they can clinch at home Saturday night against the Sharks.
I can't wait.
You can't write it better than that.
The Sharks are fading a little bit. Hey, Haley, what's happening in the hood over there?
He uses that word all the time.
Loves it.
So Chris William Wynn is back. He said hopefully McCoy goes to a team that needs points and rebounds right away. It's all about where he ends up, guys. Huh?
Just call him Chris Wynn.
Well, his full name is Chris Williams Wynn.
Call him Bill Wynn.
Okay?
Why
Like
don't
the
we
Winter
call him-
Report, it pops
last
up as
names.
Winter
We don't
Report.
use all of those.
I'm different. And actually...
No, you're extra. You're
I'm
extra.
extra.
Yeah.
So extra. Randy's actually a good guy. I like Randy now.
Oh, you like him
I'm
again.
Team Randy. I feel like I have this weird feeling. I feel like he shares good memes, so I'm probably gonna add you as a friend later, Randy. But he said love and respect, love you guys, and he said, at least you have a W on your took for Winnipeg. I'm hoping. I don't know what took's supposed. I tried to head. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I like Randy.
Tuck. I think he meant tuck.
W on your tuck.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's not a Winnipeg hat. Thank you, though,
That's all we
Randy.
got.
If that's all it takes to make you happy, that's fine.
Hey, UNLV baseball's in action as we
Are we done
mentioned earlier.
complaining about Brandon McCoy?
Yeah. There's nothing else to say.
We're over it. All right.
Got to move
He's
on.
not a rebel anymore. Moving on.
Yeah.
Top of the 7th right now, still trailing 4-2 up in the
4-2.
Eagle Empire.
Okay. 24th ranked Rebels in Reno. They played 2 more games. They won in Utah earlier this week, and they're 21-5 coming into tonight's game. 6-3 in the conference. Reno actually on top of the Mountain West with a record of 7-2. So
well,
this is an important
after a
series.
tough weekend against San Diego State, they pulled out that first game on
win.
Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday they just couldn't get anybody out. I mean, it was what was it, 15 and 22 runs
22
respectively.
runs in the last
yeah,
day.
it was. I was out there for that game, and they just they was landing everywhere, and they weren't hitting the ball out. They were just nickel and diming them, and it was unfortunate.
Did UNLV hang the L flag? The L.
Is that what you guys do? You hang
They do.
W upside down?
Well, no,
or
they do
something,
hang an L.
or-
When they lose, they hang an L.
Do you have a hat with an L on it?
We talked about this already.
You buy me one, and it'll turn it into an LA hat. If the L, and then we can add an A.
That's the right color.
LA. Mm-hmm.
UNLV baseball currently ranked 22nd in RPI. 2-game series at Grand Canyon next Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they go to Morgantown, West Virginia.
They're going to go see the game.
That's right.
Yeah.
And West Virginia now they'll play them, the tough West Virginia Mountaineers, on the road. This is a brutal schedule.
They got to go to the East Coast to play.
Sorry,
West
when he
Virginia.
says brutal schedule, I just start laughing.
Ignore it now.
It actually is, Tony. I'm with you. They have a tough schedule.
I have a mental block when you say brutal schedule. I think Golden Knights predictions, and I think how the Knights exceeded all your brutal schedule talk.
So, UNLV football, they're on spring break. So I went over there to see Pro Day and saw Rick.
Yeah, what were
saw
the 40
Brandon
times?
McCoy running to the lead
Yeah.
and tried to chase him down. I'm an ambulance chaser, by the way, to try to get,
It was actually entertaining watching him try to catch up with him.
Yeah, and then the next day he announced that he was going pro. But UNLV football's on spring break. That's where we were going. Back on Tuesday this week, that pro day, 7 former Rebels, was it?
9.
Participated in the mini combine on a cold and windy day. They had to run 40s, and it was
How were
a
the
nice
times?
crowd, though. I don't know.
Do they have
I
the limit
left.
their back?
I was cold. I was freezing. I left. Do any of you
You
guys?
left, what a surprise.
I was looking for Brandon McCoy. Does anyone know when the actual construction of the new Fertitta football complex is
Well, they
going to
broke
happen?
ground.
They did break
broke ground.
Yeah. But
Nothing
nothing's
started
happened.
in case anybody's
Nothing's
been
happened.
paying
That's what I'm
attention.
getting. Yeah, that's
they
what I'm
broke
getting.
ground. They haven't done anything.
Right.
Some sand was dug up with some pretty shovels, but
Yeah.
that's about it so far.
Kids were playing in the sand. That was about it.
Yeah, no, I have no information
Come
for
Come
you
on,
on
guys,
that.
help me out
Tony,
here.
it's
So
just
probably
gonna
after
take-
spring
Rick, you're a
practice.
football guy?
After spring practice, maybe.
Yes, we're going to go out there ourselves.
I think we're.
There you go.
Bring some shovels out, and we're going to dig a hole. And
Get in a backhoe and start digging.
Okay.
Quick update on NHL scores.
Yeah.
Winnipeg just got crushed by the Blackhawks.
Oh,
There you
man,
go,
Randy
John.
can't be happy about that.
Well, here's the thing. Both the Knights and the Jets now are 77 games played, and only a point separates them. That could be huge if they do end up meeting in the Western Conference Finals. You want to make sure you're ahead of them.
another quick update. UNLV scores 4-3 right now, top of the 7th.
They need
Johnson
this.
with a double.
They have to at least win this
Scoring
series.
Bryson Stott, yeah.
They're getting crushed in the Governor's Challenge and the Governor's Cup. They're down by like 7 points, UNLV. So
Haley, are people still talking to each other on our chat line here?
Yeah.
Are they
Jake,
ignoring
who
us?
I'm assuming is somehow related to you.
A little bit.
Okay. He said, Sharks lose. Jets getting beat up. Sorry, Michael Wynn. So they're still hanging out
Papa
there.
Gutierrez, you tell him.
Hawks. Who said Hawks?
Hawks.
Randy, your friend
Our
Randy.
friend Randy.
What does that
right.
even mean?
Blackhawks.
Oh,
They're out of the
Do they
playoffs.
fly a W?
Hawks.
He also said.
What do they fly?
They fly Stanley.
Feathers?
They fly Stanley Cups, except for the playoffs this year. They have a lot
Gentlemen,
of
it's
cups.
Haley's floor. It's Haley's court. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, thank you. Silence. No, Randy also said he'll be back to Vegas for playoffs and visit you guys, maybe a little fastball to love. So I don't know if y'all know what that means.
All right.
That's a negative.
I don't know.
Where are we? Things have gotten away.
And is
again.
it William Wynn, or are we going with William Wynn?
Is it Chris Willie now?
I
I
told
think
him
Chris
I want to
just
call
likes
him
hearing
William
his name
Wynn.
either way, so
It looks
call
like
him whenever
Chris
you
Willie.
want.
I want to call him William Wynn. I like it better.
Chris, we're going to go with that. We could have you as a guest on the show. We could have Chris.
Yeah, anytime, Chris.
Chris
Come
is
on up.
welcome. William Wynn is welcome.
I don't know if that non-compete works on Sports Adrenaline Las Vegas, William, but we'll see if we can work that out.
Can
We'll
I
give
give
him
another
an alias.
update? UNLV scores 4-4 now.
Hey, there
top
we go.
Wow, there we go.
There we go.
They start slow too, like those Vegas Golden Knights. The Las Vegas Lights. The USL Lights coming off of a 1-1 tie against Reno, 1868. Last
Still
week.
undefeated.
Okay, or are we going to ruin the set?
1-0-1. 1-0-1.
Oh, this will be the L flag. The lights
Early goals
with the
for
W.
each team. Alex Mendoza in the 27th minute. And then Daniel Mazovsky, who played at
How about
UNLV,
that?
who played at Liberty High School.
Welcome back.
Yes, he comes and he answers back. He ties the score at 1-1. And just a lot of
rude.
shenanigans.
How rude of him.
Some scoring chances. 20 shots on net for Las Vegas, 11 for Reno. The Lights, of course, are always going to win in this category, which is yellow cards.
Ferrigno?
Four yellow cards compared to one. But attendance was super, right? Over 9,000 fans in attendance. And so
It's a great atmosphere.
Homestand
It's fantastic.
continues. Second of 4 games against the Swope
Swope
Park Rangers
Rangers.
from Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City. This Saturday, 8 p.m., Swope Park 2-0. They beat Reno in their opener. So, but things continue to go on an upward trajectory for this franchise.
And once talking about something positive related to a team in Las
once
Vegas.
the weather,
because they have a favorable schedule.
Because the Rangers don't play
he
in
likes
their league.
Ferrigno and the yellow cards.
I do.
Yeah.
And I like that rough game. You know, I'm a Reeves fan. Hey, wait, guys, weren't you guys bad-mouthing Reeves? Okay.
Oh, here we go.
What's wrong with you?
But I like the physical
hold
nature.
on. Counterpoint. How many goals does Reeves have?
2, I think. I don't
None
know.
with the
Not nothing in Vegas.
He's got some great hits. I don't care. He's a goon. That's the way I would play hockey if I
Anyways,
were.
back to the lights.
Yeah, back to the lights. Super. And they're gonna sell out the crowd. They're gonna have a sellout here very shortly. I mean, it looked great. I watched it. Again, it got
Great.
cold.
How's their schedule, Tony? Is it rough? Is it brutal?
Tough game this week.
Big stretch coming up here, guys.
They've got 4 in a row at home, which is good.
Swope, there it is.
Oh my gosh! Moving on.
You know, in all seriousness, with the LV Lights FC, they've done a great job promoting this team, getting out there into the community, getting fans to come out. 9,000 at Cashman Field.
On a cold night, on a cold and windy night. Again,
what is
they haven't had nice weather.
They haven't had
And
one
llamas.
nice weather game yet.
And the Llamas
did
something
Brett
on the field that
Lashbrook
we can't talk about.
Yeah, they did. What Llamas do.
They left something on the field.
Brett Lashbrook has done an amazing job just getting people to come out there and embrace this team and get those guys out into the community. He's
you will not
done
find
a
a more
wonderful job.
passionate
No, he loves
individual about his team than Lashbrook.
Ole, ole, ole.
Yeah.
Haley, there's a big drag race coming up, right? NHRA style.
Oh, that race, yeah.
Right?
Not the other drag race.
Is it the right one where there's going to be four wide? So 4. Yeah, that came out wrong on my end, probably. I kind of prompted you there.
Okay.
So 4 wide?
Yeah.
Drag racing?
Yeah.
When
NHRA.
is that next? A week from now?
It's the
So you basically
6th,
said the
7th,
whole thing,
8th.
Tony.
Yeah.
So what
I'll
else is
just
happening?
repeat
Thank
what
you, Haley.
said.
Moving on, Haley.
But no, actually, I do have a tidbit of cool information. So yeah, it is next week, the 6th, 7th, 8th. It's the first time Vegas is going to have all 4 lanes going, so it's going to be like an epic, historic moment. Charlotte's the only other track that has 4 lanes. So it's the Denso Spark Pugs, NHRA, National 4 Wides. Get your tickets on lvms.com.
Wow. It's almost like you work up there.
But, oh my God, it's insane. I know so much about it. But if you want to get on the track before the pros do, Midnight Mayhem is on Saturday the 31st. So if you want to get up on there and drive on the 4 wide
On all
before
4.
the pros do.
Yeah.
So I could bring my Nissan Rogue and let it have it.
Can you say, I don't know the terminology, can you say on all 4s? Like how do you, does that make sense?
You want to get down on all 4s?
Okay.
No. I'm
Moving
saying-
on.
Is that what they call it?
I doubt it.
We've got some other news here. We've got some
sure hope
boxing
so.
This
news.
is how we get the big numbers.
We've got some
Tony
boxing.
goes on his tangents.
I'm coming out of my shell, man. I'm a late bloomer. The boxing news. So the Nevada State Athletic
you better
Commission, they filed a formal complaint against Canelo Alvarez.
This is bad, man.
For doping. So it looks like Canelo, Triple G, scheduled for Cinco de Mayo. T-Mobile
tampering.
will be off. And the MGM Resorts folks yesterday said that they would start to refund any tickets about before that bout, which is going to be postponed. What?
Yeah, that's.
What's so funny, dude? Canelo's tested positive for PEDs. In other words, he ate some street meat in Mexico.
Street meat, man. It gets you every time. It's bad. This is
Tainted meat.
This is the fight.
You've heard of that song, Tainted Love? That was Soft Cell back in the day. This is Tainted Meat. Tainted meat. Yeah.
He's lost it today. I don't know. But no.
Is that shot glass empty at the end of the desk?
It is now. This was the fight, right? We had the
Cheers.
draw that was somewhat controversial last year between these two, and this was the big rematch that everybody was waiting for. This is the marquee fight out there. Outside of the welterweight division and outside of Wilder Joshua, assuming Joshua wins his fight coming up.
We'll
The
talk about
heavyweight
that.
division,
When you got the tainted meat.
I mean, this is bad, man. It's a bad look for boxing. It's a bad look for Golden Boy Promotions. It's a bad look for Canelo. Whether it was innocent or not, it's never going to be viewed that way
But the
because it's
commission
boxing.
did its job.
And we know how it is.
But the commission
Absolutely.
literally could have caved in, and because we lose a lot of money in this town because this fight's going to be canceled. So Canelo was temporarily suspended by the commission pending a hearing that was supposed to be held on April 10th, and then today they even delayed that hearing to April the 18th. So there's not going to be sufficient time to properly promote the fight even. So this fight was blown up without Floyd Mayweather in between there trying to.
You think Mayweather was out there cooking street meat?
He could have been, man. You never know.
The catalyst?
So for any kind of steroids, testosterone, HGH, I was looking up the fines and the suspensions. 36-month suspension and a fine of 50 to 70% of a fighter's purse. But there have been some reports that say the commission could reduce a suspension if there's cooperation. So Canelo actually turned himself in. He didn't mean to eat the street meat in Mexico. And
do you ever?
So, but they can now grant him a 6-month suspension. I got alcohol poisoning in Mexico, so anything goes.
I think you got alcohol poisoning tonight.
So they say that he will be allowed to fight perhaps
in September.
Right, Mexican Independence Day is what I was getting at.
No big
because
deal.
The suspension's retroactive to when he or Golden Boy just told the commission that he was eating illegal meat, tainted meat. That's it.
All right. Cinco de Mayo. Let's get Floyd in the octagon because that's not going to happen.
So now no fights on Cinco de Mayo other than bar fights.
Well,
we'll have Golden Knights playoffs, having to take over T-Mobile Arena instead of a big fight. So no loss. No loss.
Yeah. All right. And then we've got Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker this weekend in that heavyweight tilt. 80,000 fans once again on hand in Cardiff, Wales. So Joshua doesn't think that Parker will be able to handle the environment alone because it's just so massive. He fought in front of just a handful of 5,000 people, I think, his last fight. I watched Joshua fight, again, his last fights, in the Klitschko fights, 20-0, 20 KOs, the holder of the WBA, IBF, IBO belts, and then Parker has the WBO belt. That's up for grabs. It's a unification fight. But Joshua just looks so much bigger, so much stronger. The two fighters have really not had to hype up this fight other than to say that Parker said that he was miffed that Joshua didn't shake his hand after the press conference the other day.
Well, according to Luis, Joshua, is it Joshua?
Yeah.
Yeah, the UFC's throwing money at him.
Who's Luis?
Right. Who is Luis? Where is Luis?
Oh, where is Luis?
Just according to Luis. That's a strong source for those of you watching, according to Luis.
If
you don't
anybody
know,
is still watching.
If you don't know.
If you're Anthony Joshua and you have...
You don't know, now you know.
You have a potential heavyweight unification bout against Deontay Wilder, two undefeated champions, why would you even entertain the UFC? UFC can't throw as much money as boxing can at you. So that, I don't see why he would even entertain that thought.
Both fighters have beaten Carlos Takam. Parker's, quick and he throws some bombs. He's really trimmed down. He looks a lot thinner than his last fight. But I don't think this fight goes long. Someone has to land punches. Someone's going to get KO'd early. Klitschko, you may recall in that first fight, put down Joshua with the right hand in the 6th round. And then we saw that uppercut, remember?
Lifted him
one
off
of
the ground.
One of the best uppercuts
Literally
I think we've ever seen.
Ground.
It was huge. He said huge.
Oh, Tony went with the H, huge, instead of huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Haley.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Michael
4 wide?
Wynn. 4 wide. 4. All 4s. Michael Wynn would still like to see
Just
this
got that
fight.
image out of my head.
Which fight?
This fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know
though.
when he chimed in and said it.
It's not
but
going to
he
happen
said
in
this
May.
fight.
It'll
They
happen.
should
but
have
it's not going to happen in May.
instead in
Yeah.
that Toshiba Plaza. They're going to have the street meat vendors convention going on out there. Final Four weekend this weekend, guys. Villanova -5 over Kansas. Michigan -5 over Loyola. Does the Flying Nun get there? Does she win? I still call her the Flying Nun, whatever.
I hope so. I'm pulling for them, even though
Yeah.
my final 2 are still intact.
It'd be fun to
I
see the upset.
picked
Why not?
Michigan and Villanova.
You did?
I did.
Okay, I have Villanova, but that's it.
I had Villanova losing to Arizona. Way to go.
Yeah,
I
same
don't
here.
want-
Same here.
I don't want to reveal my bracket.
Okay. I think
Well,
it's,
all right.
I think
Are you
it's
flying
time-
the L?
It's bad.
Or your
Yeah,
bra-
it's a big fat L.
That's a big flying L
Yeah.
right there.
What time's your shift start at White Castle? Final thoughts?
Side hustle, Tony.
Final thoughts? Haley, you okay over there?
I'm here.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts? Anything?
Oh, she gets a final thought tonight. Go ahead.
Well,
I always get something,
I
but
throw
usually
something
it's
at
I'm
her.
telling people to go do something. Thursday, before the races, there's a fan fest for NHRA fans at New York, and then, 4 wide. Come watch history.
peace.
Dynamite.
Let's do your final thoughts. Let's start off with Rick.
Final thoughts. Well, today's opening day, and I love this day every day because I wake up and my team is in first place. But at the end of the day, they're not, and they won't be for the rest of the season. To me, it's a problem with baseball because the rich get richer and those that aren't don't. And I'm dedicated to my team, the Friars, the Padres. Go Padres! But they can't compete when teams like these guys and those guys at the end of the desk spend more and more money, and they just get all the good players. But it's just unfortunate that I will never see my team in the Fall Classic again. So, but at the end of the day, we're one game out of first place, and happy to be there because by the end of next week, I'll be watching just for kicks and grins after hockey season's over now. So my final thought is go Padres, but unfortunately it's not going to be much. And another final thought, if I could, because 2 weeks ago the guy to my left
final thoughts
kind of ignorantly said that a 6 team would never, ever lose to a 1.
Did I say that?
I did.
No, he did.
I was very adamant about it.
He was very adamant about it. And then 24 hours later, I was driving through Phoenix, listening to the game, and just had you all over my mind.
You know what the first thing I thought, too? I'm going to catch so much heat from Rick for this. First thing I thought when they won that game. Here we go.
So, go Loyola.
Awesome.
And with that said, make the tournament 96 teams.
No.
Good. Matt?
No.
Go ahead.
Real quick, I have 2 thoughts too, but the first one is just you no longer have to survive the ground. Thank you, NFL, for getting rid of the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life when it comes to catching a football, surviving the ground.
Yes, kudos.
Got rid of that nonsense. My real final thought is Golden freaking Knights, man. Las Vegas has a professional playoff team. I don't know about you guys, but I'm through the roof excited about this. I know we've been building to this moment for the entire season because they started off so hot and they've just kept this momentum going. It's one thing to finally get the team here and to watch them come out onto the ice for the first time, to see them get those early wins and have the amazing home run they had to start off with. But we get to watch this team in the playoffs, and I can't believe that that's a reality, that we're gonna watch the Vegas Golden Knights compete for the Stanley Cup. And I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to get out to T-Mobile and watch the atmosphere and just soak it all in once this team finally takes the ice in the playoffs.
And have some street meat, too.
All the street meat.
Go, Knights, go!
So how does this work? They both get 2 takes, and then part of Matt's final thought was my final thought. So do I just not say anything?
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've deferred.
Really quick.
Oh, okay.
Really quick. I was going to talk about Golden Knights in the playoffs and just implore everybody up and down the Las Vegas Strip to start displaying a Golden Knights logo on your marquee, display it on the facade, put it out somewhere, put flags up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, whatever the city, the county needs to do, but the Las Vegas Strip needs to be Golden Knights Central. And granted, I know we get tourists from all over the town, but we have to show all these people how united we are behind this team come playoff time. And what if this team makes a run to the Stanley Cup? I just think it would be amazing. And if there's not a property that does or doesn't participate in this, I won't be a patron of them. I think they need to be all in on this team as everybody in the city does.
Nice.
Be the greatest championship parade ever, right down the Las Vegas Strip.
Somebody help me out here.
For what?
Go F yourself, Maddie. I think.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
go F.
Matt.
Okay,
I see some hearts. I think we're on the same page.
I am not sure that I am a fan of scheduling every team in Major League Baseball to start the season on the same day.
This is why I went short on my take. Go ahead.
And furthermore, this is my first of 4 takes. No, I'm just kidding. Just one. Tradition should be upheld as for years, right? The first pitch to usher in a new season was thrown in Cincinnati. So continue with the tradition. The Reds and Nationals actually were rained out today. So
darn
they
rain.
didn't even get a chance to start early. There's an annual parade that goes on. I know Matt plays homage to March Shot, usually, typically. A lot of festivities that day. But TV is now... he doesn't know March Shot is. TV is now dictating Major League Baseball schedule. they're going to be lucky if they get in a game actually in Cincinnati tomorrow. I wish that it could have been the very first game. I really do. I shouldn't complain.
Yes, you shouldn't.
Because the A's and the Mariners are scheduled to open the 2019 campaign in Tokyo. Remember when they did this before? Brilliant idea. The first pitch was like at 3 in the morning. So
yeah, it was the Dodgers.
Yeah, we're going to have to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch a game, and at least we could watch baseball today at normal times, which was okay. But welcome back once again, Major League Baseball. Welcome back. Welcome back, Cotter. Haley, thank you so much. Thanks for checking in. Anything else on the way out?
Nothing,
People blowing it up?
no.
There's nothing
Trying to figure out
worthwhile?
what
Just the F's.
What does that mean?
Randy, come back next week.
Yeah, Randy, come back. I
Okay.
like you.
So for everyone on our
She's going to
board
friend you a
today,
little bit later.
for Haley Brooks with Haley's comments, for Luis Negretti, who is at Coach Haley's. That's next week.
That's what it is.
That's
He's
next
getting
week.
ready for Coach Haley.
He's getting ready. For John Castanino, for Matt Gutierrez, for Rick Strasser, for our producer, Richard Giacovino, Tony Cardasco, so long from Las Vegas. Have a great night, great weekend.
Hey,
Final
fly the
Four.
W out there.
Fly
See
the
ya.
shield. Go Knights, go.
See you at White Castle, everyone.
Go, Knights, go.
Burgers on John. Good night.